So given the overhead of doing these videos, I'm going to do more like a weekly. So let's talk about the last week. There it is. Whew. Tough day today. My knees and feet and ankles are shot. Not even sure I know how to walk on this stuff. Alright, so I ended the second day at Neal's Gap, which is another 16-mile hump to get there. And Neal's Gap is where a lot of people quit. There's trees around the Mountain Crossings Outfitter store that have people's shoes thrown up there when they just gave up, right? And to be fair, the descent down Blood Mountain is about 2 miles, and it is really rugged and really steep. So I think a lot of people get hurt there. So Neal's Gap has this little hostel right there on the trail, and a little bit of campground and back, and a pretty nice outfitter store where you can do some resupply. It's like $20 a night, and after the last few days, shower and Wi-Fi really hit the spot. I was thinking about taking a day right there, but I putzed around the store for a little while in the morning, and it was like 10:30, and I wanted to move on out, so I decided to head for Low Gap, do kind of a short day and camp there. That sounds pretty good.
We're about to hit the trail that we had at
Low Gap is where I'm looking to camp tonight. And Unicoi Gap is where I'm catching the shuttle to Hiawassee. And that's where I'm taking my zero. Can't wait. Chicken salad sandwich. Looking pumped up now. Let's get after it. Welcome to the Appalachian Mountains of Georgia. Ask us about our big ass rocks. Low Gap. Hey, home for the night. I smell a campfire. Low Gap is a pretty large, accommodating campground. It's got a lot of space. There's a shelter, some bear lines, good water, and lots of camping spaces. So I had the misfortune of sleeping in my tent next to this dude who sounded like he was sawing logs and then choking on them. So I'm having to throw some earbuds in and go with some white noise to get some sleep. It was pretty bad. I mean, he must have been keeping everybody awake within a quarter mile. Here it is, Unicoi Gap. Time for a 0 day. So there's some bad weather rolling in coming up, so I was kind of looking to maybe get off the trail for the tornado warnings. So I went to Unicoi Gap and called a shuttle from there into Helen, where I took a couple of 0 days. The first one was because of tornadoes. I mean, I got awakened about 6 o'clock in the morning by sirens, like air raid sirens, and messages on my phone telling me to take shelter. So Helen's pretty nice. It's like a little, they're sort of trying to do the medieval or European village type feel to it. So it's a pretty neat little spot. Apparently Oktoberfest and a Balloon Festival is a big deal there, and they're more and more becoming a hiker town. So the place I stayed at actually had a thru-hiker discount on the room. So that was nice. It's also got a place called Big Daddy's, which has a outstanding selection of beer, including a pretty authentic Hefeweizen. So definitely worth checking out if y'all are in the area. Right. So from the 2 days I took off in Helen, I mean, one was for the tornado warning, the other one was because it was 40 and drizzling, and the very next day was 75 and sunny that Sunday. So it took an extra 0 day. I low-key regret it, but still, it was nice to get some rest. Dix Creek Gap. I just gotta wait on my shuttle into Hiawassee. I got a shuttle driver to drop me off at Unicoi Gap and went another 16 miles or so to Dix Creek Gap, where I got picked up by a driver from the Budget Inn and stayed there overnight. And Budget Inn is, it's a budget inn. It's like a little roadside motel, and it'll do the job. It was like $40, not too bad. Right, so the shuttle from the Budget Inn back to Dix Creek Gap. First of all, the shuttle doesn't leave until 9 o'clock in the morning, which is a bit later than I like to start hiking. But there's another couple hikers he had to drop off at Unicoi Gap, and then he dropped me off at Dix Creek Gap. So I didn't actually get on the trail until 10 o'clock. So that was not a good start to the day. And there's a mountain, it's It's called Sharp Top. That has like a false summit. So you get up and you're scrambling, 30, 40 degree inclines, and you've been doing it for over a mile, and you come around this bend and there's a whole other freaking mountain. And this climb kicked my ass. And instead of pushing all the way to Deep Gap, which would have been like a 16-mile day, I stopped at Muskrat Creek and wound up being a 12-mile day. And that kind of threw off my schedule a little bit. But man, I was beat. Muskrat Creek is the first time that I actually hung my bear bag. Usually there was like a bear locker or something to that effect. But worked out pretty well. No bears. But it was a pretty successful first attempt, I'd say.